Okay, so I was definitely, oops, there we go. I was definitely being distracted this morning. Um, and yeah, fun stuff. Uh, wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about, but I guess I could talk about something that's been on my mind a lot, which is love. And I don't even know exactly what I want to say about it, but I thought that's what I'll talk about today. Hey, Henry, how are you? Good to see you. Um, Love is something I thought a lot about growing up as a kid, which is kind of a funny thing to say, I guess. But I had some interesting experiences at a very young age, which brought that up for me, and in my young teens. And I remember experiencing, what people would call, that whole big emotion of love. Oh, thank you for the kiss. Good to see you. That whole big, emotion of love that you get when you're a teenager and stuff, and honestly through the rest of your life, where it's just kind of this rush. But it's also, um, I don't know. It's like romantic attraction, I guess. So I found that in my heart, in my mind, you have that big rush of hormones, and you're all like, "Ooh, Twitter pated," etc. And then, but then that can dissipate very quickly. That can kind of just disappear, right? So I noticed, like when I was a teenager, and you're very susceptible to that. And you meet a new guy, and he's cute, and this and that. And you have all of this like um, flood of Twitter pated emotions, I guess you could call it. I'm using my Bambi terminology. And but then after some time, I would get to know the person, and I would be like, this person isn't like whatever it was that generated that newness, etc., was gone. But also, like, as I got to know them, I was like, okay, this is not really the person that I think they are, right? And then I would be embarrassed, especially if I had done something or showed in some way that I was attracted to them, right? Or I feel like I'd made a fool of myself. And especially when you're young, these it happens a lot. Hey, Jay. And especially when you're young, it happens a lot where, you might fall in love with some older teen boy, or whatever that romantic attraction emotion is. Hey. And then, but then they would, treat you badly or ignore you, or, whatever would happen, right? There should be something that would happen that would kind of just crush you or crush me. and you kind of just say, okay, forget it. And then that would dissipate. And then the feeling afterwards would be a feeling of kind of feeling embarrassment, humiliation, or feeling like a fool. Mostly being mad at myself for being like, why was I so stupid, right? So when I was very young, I began to, I was reading a lot, even at a young age. I was like, well, this isn't love, right? This is like a flood of sort of emotional hormones or whatever, but love is something that grows. Love is something that takes time and builds over time. How are you? I'm good, man. Good to see you. And so I kind of stopped that. I did it consciously as a teenager. I stopped myself from acting on those emotions. So when you get hit with that flood of emotions, those teenage emotions, I would actually like take a very tight grip on myself and try not to act on that. And I would watch that person, and I would give myself like a few days to really watch that person, because we lived communally. So, I had the opportunity to really like pay attention to them. Hey, Luxar, good evening. Nice to see you. How are you? And I would wait. And I would say, is this real? Like, or is this just this type of emotional high that you get, right? And typically, if I would wait a few days, it would kind of dissipate, go away. I would watch them really carefully, and I'd be like, is this person who I think they are, right? And oh, is today your birthday? Oh, happy birthday! Good to see you. That's so exciting. Okay, hey, you're a Taurus like me. So nice. Did I just have my birthday? Oh, that's wonderful. Well, happy birthday. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful birthday. Do something wonderful for yourself. Do something to love yourself, okay? Do something, yeah, to relax and just really treat yourself, okay? Congratulations. Yeah, and so it was interesting for me over time, after having this experience over and over, there are many ways in which I kind of built a wall, right? And I made it harder for myself to express that. And I wanted to just, I wanted to understand. I didn't want those ups and downs and highs and lows. Hi, Olivia. Oh, I'm glad you're so happy today. I wanted real love. I wanted true love, and I understood that true love was not something that's just a flood of emotions. It's something that builds. It's something that builds over time as you get to know somebody and as you really get to, it's like a little, like a rose bush, like a little flower plant, right? There's that little seed there that gets planted in the ground, but it takes time to grow. It takes time to put down roots and to grow into something that is strong and true and beautiful. It's not something that just happens in a day, right? That thing of like that flash. You might have that flash where you can be very attracted to someone instantly, and people think of that as love at first sight. But when you're really building love, what I was interested in was love for a relationship, love for the long term, that kind of true love. And I understood that that was something that built over time. And at least for me, it was. So, and to me, something that became so important to me after watching how people behaved, especially how men behaved, right? They'd be all in this big woo, flash and flurry, and excitement, right? But they wanted something from you, maybe sex, maybe whatever it was. And then when they got that, they were like, oh, okay, now I'm done, I'm sated, right? And that was so hurtful. And so I was like, I don't want that. I don't want any part of that. And so I changed how I did it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm really going to just wait and see. Like, is this real? Is this true? Is this person here? Like, is this love deeply rooted? And can it really connect? Can it go for the long term? And so that was the kind of love that I was interested in. And I remember one of my first boyfriends, like one of the first people I actually was in a relationship with. He was, oh, thank you, Jay. He says, love you. Thank you, Lexar. Yeah. So, I would wait and I would watch them and I would see, is this a real love? I remember my first boyfriends, he tried to date me for a year before I would go out with him. And my mother told him, I was probably about, 16 or 17, I think. And my mother told him, she's like, if you want to date Faith, you're going to have a lot of determination. You're going to have to not give up. And he told me that later, and I just laughed because it was true. Because to me, it was important to discover, is this for real? Is this something that's just going to disappear? Because I wasn't interested in that kind of thing. And after that, for many years, there was, when I actually would be in a relationship with someone, it was always where we always started as friends. Oftentimes I maybe was not even attracted to them at first, not like in a romantic way, but I really loved who they were as a person, and I really enjoyed spending time with them. Aw, thank you. You said, nice, your voice. I appreciate that. Thank you for the sweet compliment. And it would take months sometimes before we would get past that that friend thing. But by that time, I knew that that person was with me because they really liked and appreciated who I was. They weren't just there after their own like gratification or sexual gratification. It wasn't like a flash in the pan. It was like, okay, we really like each other as people and we're friends together. And that gave me more of a sense of security when considering them, allowing them, I guess, to have a deeper type of relationship and to be in my heart. So that is that's sort of been my MO, I guess, in relationships, is taking my time with that and then really allowing that to grow through really getting to know each other. Do we like to do the same things? Like, do we have like our personalities? Are they aligned? And do we enjoy being with each other even if there wasn't any sex? Right? Do we actually really just enjoy each other's company? So that, I think that worked out better in the sense. So that really the only people that I actually dated, like seriously, like was in a relationship for years with, were people that I had actually started out like that very slowly and built that. And but then there's been times when I've thought to myself, and I've said, you know what? I wonder if when the right person comes along, if it just happens, in a way that's maybe faster. I don't know, right? So trying to stay open to the possibility of that. But I still do understand that emotions are fleeting, right? Emotions are like up and down, and they come and go. But really building something, true connection with somebody is how we do it, right? That's sorry, someone's calling me. Sorry. Well, thank you very much. Building that love, I guess, is the love I was interested in. So, and that really is the love I'm still interested in. That really is how I see it, and the emotions and the flutter and all of that, that's all fun, and that's beautiful too. But for me, I like to take my time and really see, is this something real, right? Instead of getting distracted by the emotions, just keep moving slowly forward. And maybe that's my Taurus nature, Luxar, wanting something real and solid and true, and not just caught up in the romance or the emotion of it. So anyway, those are some things that were coming up for me recently, because I think sometimes when you're with somebody and they're in that place where they're just like, wow, I just know this is the one, right? And I'm like super excited, and I'm like, okay, give me time, let this grow, let this happen, let this, I need time. I'm a Taurus. I move a little more slowly, you got to think about nature, right? To me, like love and growth and relationship is like nature. It's like planting a tree, planting plants, you water it, and the sun and the water and the air and all of that. And that just allows your heart to, that seed of love to grow and to become a beautiful plant, and eventually a strong tree that can stand the test of time and that can stand everything. But that doesn't happen in a moment. That doesn't happen in a second. That initial flash might be there, right? And I think for a lot of us, and they talk about in relationship counseling, actually, and I've listened to this in relationship counseling, they say most often that the best relationships are not ones where the people necessarily were like immediately like, woo, attracted to each other and had this super strong sexual chemistry, but there were ones where the people really, they became friends and they built a foundation together. And so, so that's something I've been thinking about recently because of different things going on in my life, which perhaps I will tell you about at some time soon. Jay, thank you, Jay. Luxar says, sounds like your mom is so supportive. Good to hear this. My mom is definitely supportive. She's much more supportive now than she was. And, she's I think we all have really good characteristics and not so good characteristics, and they kind of blend together to make us that person that we are. And so, yeah, I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, so that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about love. So often we think it's this big and romantic flash, and if we don't have those feelings instantly that this isn't right or this isn't the right person, but that's not really true. Some of the best relationships are built with time and understanding and really discovering what you share and what you love about each other, and that you like your personalities are compatible and what you love to do is compatible, right? So that's such a beautiful to me, that's such a beautiful thing, to give yourself that time to develop that instead of be looking for that big flash. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. And Luxar, I am so happy for you. Make sure you post a birthday post, okay? And yeah, you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you, Jay, Santos, Elizabeth, everybody else for coming on to listen today. And hope that gives you a little food for thought. All right. You guys have a beautiful day. Okay. I got to go get to work. I got a lot to do today.